Hey everyone, happy Monday. Happy last week of 2020. Let's have a moment of silence for that because hopefully we are all going to be on an upswing from this point forward. So I do want to wish you a happy early New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. As they are coming toward the end of the week, I did want to touch base in our group tonight. Many of you have already emailed and told me that you would not be able to attend a live, which is perfectly fine. I'm usually really ignored the whole month of December. Come January, all my friends come back again and they're ready to kind of shift the thinking from holidays and everything they've been through and all the reflections in 2020, good, bad, or ugly, and start looking forward to 2021. I never want to say it can't get any worse because life has a way of coming along and saying, let me show you differently. But I do believe that if you have a shift in your mindset, you and your positivity and the changes in your life can go forward despite on what's going on around you. So I wanted to step in here tonight specifically for this week. I've been waiting for it actually since the middle of summer. I knew I was going to do this subject this week. I want to throw out the notion for 2021 of setting goals. Just be done with it. Goals have such a negative connotation when it comes to weight loss. They're usually tied hand in hand. I didn't meet my goals, therefore I'm a failure at weight loss. And that is furthest from the truth. If maybe you didn't meet the high level or the high end of your goals, but many goals are met, they're just met differently than initially put out there. It's not like goals is a bad thing. I love them. I set them every month for myself. I set monthly goals, and then I set yearly goals, and then I set those long-term goals. I always have to be moving forward. Excuse me. I always have to be moving forward and working towards something. I'm very grateful and happy with where things are in life, but I don't stay stagnant. There's just so many things that I want to do and accomplish in my world. That I may pause or take a break, but I want to continue going forward. So me personally, I love goals, and I'm not saying ignore them. I'm just saying for this walk into 2021, we're going to set goals aside for the month of January, and I want to use the word change. Yeah, people hate that word too, but I want to use the word change. I am going to change the way I see myself in 2021. I am going to change the way I react to my body, the way that it looks, and everything that it does for me. Your body still takes you from A to B and still does a lot of things for you. It may not be the flat stomach if you wanted that. I never wanted that. I probably maybe should have, but I could have cared less because I'm a pretty modest person on the dressing end. So it didn't do me no good. But maybe that's something that you wanted. Maybe you wanted more muscle tone. Maybe you wanted to fit in a certain size. Doesn't matter. I want to use the word change for walking into this 2021. We're going to change the way we see ourselves. I'm going to change the way I react to my body. I'm going to change the way I react to my weight loss. I'm going to change, this is a big one. I am going to change my reaction when I don't do things the best way possible. That means I've overeaten. I had a second helping. God forbid I had a second helping. Or I had some dessert. Instead of mentally beating yourself up for that, you are going to change how you see that. You're going to keep it in perspective. I'm going to change and realize that one day, one meal, one slip up, one double portion is not going to make or break me. Things have to get more in perspective. And maybe that's a change that you want. I'm going to start seeing things more in perspective than just because one thing goes wrong, I'm not going to throw the baby out with the water. Okay. I can tell I've been like talking to my aunt today. All those old sayings start coming back. So I want to encourage you to come up with some changes. I would love, love, love for you to come up with 10 changes. And I know some of you are like, there she goes with all that homework again. And I get accused of giving a lot of work. But the problem is 2 or 3 won't be strong enough to fight it off for you. Yes, it would be great if you did 10. I know at least 10 things that you want to change in your life. You want to change your reaction. You want to change your conversations. You want to change the circle you socialize in. You want to maybe change your jobs, change your churches, change the gym you go to, change your workouts, change your relationships, change your boundaries, change your ability or lack of ability to say, no, I can't, no, thank you, can't make it, can't be a part of that. We've got a lot of things that we want to change. But unfortunately, when we set them up as goals, we don't achieve them, we're done with them. And that's not how it works. So I want to just change the way that we see going into 2021. Now, many of you have already said you're going to start the online Weight Walk program, which is great. I love that because it takes you week by week, regardless of videos with me. Lots of homework. Yes, there's also homework because if you don't connect your mental with the physical and emotional, you can't change anything. Okay, I can tell you what to eat. Eat 1,500 calories of salad. There you go. There's your weight loss plan. I can tell you that because I know you have 1,500 or 1,800 for my men at the lowest end of your calories. And you can eat whatever you want. But people have lost so much confidence in themselves to be able to make those choices. And so I really shut that down. Like, no, I'm not going to tell you what to eat. I'm not going to tell you how to pay your bills. I'm not going to tell you how to deal with your mom or your dad or your relationship or your siblings or your finances or anything like that. You are grown. You have to make those decisions. And I know what comes into play here. You're like, but every time I've started a diet, I failed. Okay, it wasn't for you or you stopped doing it. I don't know that I would say failure as you stopped doing it. Because every one of them works. It's what can you do today? What are you ready for? Okay, that's why I like to teach it with regular everyday foods. I don't want someone telling me I can't have chocolate cake if that's what I want. Now, granted, that might be my whole lunch because it's going to eat up all my calories, but some days that's not so bad. Some days I have really healthy choices and other days, well, let's just say other days they're not so healthy. Okay, but as long as I stay in my caloric range, and that's what the Weight Watch program teaches you, as long as you stay in your caloric range, your body doesn't say, for the love of everything merciful, this girl's eating her third Snicker bar. Now, I may be eating my third Snicker bar, but as long as I'm under the calorie arrangement that I have set for me, set per meal, then I'm golden. Okay, so the food program that you decide to do is your choice. Maybe you're doing keto, maybe you're doing Weight Watchers or Jenny Craig or Noom, and there's just a lot of programs out there. They're all going to do the same thing. Eventually, they're going to have to reduce your calories to a certain amount per day. For me, I would prefer to make that choice myself. I want to decide what I'm going to eat. If I'm only going to eat this much, I want to decide what fits in that realm of numbers every single day. Okay. Now that's the easy part. You can exercise or not exercise to lose weight. Exercise makes you feel better. It gives you more wind, more energy. It's great for the heart, the respiratory system. It's great for my diabetics. It's great for the mindset. It's not an equal return program for weight loss. So if you're walking 5 miles a day so that you can fit into that size, whatever, by the end of the month, not going to work. That falls under the food issue. But it will do everything humanly possible to support the food issue. Okay, we just got to understand what their roles are. That should be, food and exercise should be about 10% of your mental input. You're done. Once you decide what that's going to be, it does not need your attention over and over and over and over and over. It just doesn't. The rest of it is on you. The rest of it, we have to change the things in our life that send us to food. We have to change the people, and that means get rid of them because you can't change another human being, okay? Or set boundaries with them, or lower our expectations because I put them at arm's length now. They're not in my inner circle. I like them. I may even love them. They may or may not be family, but they're going to stay outside of this circle because I know now I can't trust them, okay? So it's changing the dynamics of our relationships, all right? Changing the way that we see our job. Is it there to pay bills? Do you love what you do? If this was your last job on earth, could you do it till you die? If not, that might need changed. Well, Deborah, I understand what you're saying, but I don't have the money to start my own company. Start your own company and the money will come. There's so many free services out there, and there's so many things you can do before you actually need that financial windfall. And trust me when I tell you, if it's something that you truly want, you'll find the money, you'll find the resources, you'll find the support. Okay, so what else do you need to change? What do you want to see differently? And I know it's a little hard to kind of assess this because we still have COVID lingering around us. It's cost us a lot. It's cost us family members, people we love, our finances, our homes, our stability, our security. It's cost us so much. So I want to just set that aside a little bit because that's going to be the exception to the rule. But we're going to set COVID aside a little bit. We're going to look out into 2021 and say, this is what I'm going to change this year in my life. I am going to change, whether it's your 6 areas that I always talk about: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, social, and financial. They're in the group. I list them out. They are the 6 areas of every single person's life. Everything about you falls into one of those 6 areas. Do you need to change some family dynamics? Do you need to spend more time with them? Do you need to make amends? Are you the one that really probably needs to say you're sorry, but your pride, your ego won't quite let you? That might take a minute. But is that something that you want to change? Do you want to change the way you interact with your children? Do you want to change the way you interact with your spouse or your significant other? Do you want to change the hatred or anger or any type of negative emotion toward a parent that was or wasn't there? What do you want to change? Because if you take that other 90% of you and put it into things that you need to change, your eating program will stay on point almost by itself. Because you have to remember, people that are food addicts, we don't go to food because we're hungry. At least not physically. We go because we're happy, sad, mad, glad, we're bored, we're nothing, we're everything. It's too much, it's too little. We go because of all the triggers that are in our lives. So let's change some of those triggers. Look at what got you off course in the last month, the last quarter, or this last year. What set it off? Who set it off? What was going through your mind? What are the patterns? That's why when programs tell you to keep a food log, they don't tell you what to do with the information. It gives you so much. Look at your food patterns. Look at the time of the day you get off track. Maybe it's just nighttime snacking because that's your form of comfort. Whether we need to change our nighttime snacking, we have to find another form of comfort. Whether it's mindless game playing on your videos, or maybe you're going to write that book that you haven't wrote since 1944, so you're going to change that. And instead of snacking in the evening, you're going to take your iPad or your laptop or pen and paper, and you're going to write, okay? Because what snacking does is it gives us a way to wind down. And if you don't wind down naturally and normally, I have trouble winding down naturally and normally. I have to do mindless things to get my mind to slow down enough to go to sleep. So maybe I have to change what I'm doing in the evening time if I can't control the nighttime snacking. Maybe I have to change what I'm drinking. Maybe if you're drinking diet soda, thinking, oh, there's no calories, but diet soda also increases your appetite. And it makes you feel bloated, and it makes you feel uncomfortable, and everything gets tight. And when we're uncomfortable, people like you and me, we go eat. We don't like drink water and try to get rid of it. No, we just go eat. Okay, we will eat for anything and everything. So what do you need to change back here so we don't get to the extra eating point? Okay, who, what, when, where, what? I went back to the what twice. There's a reason. What are you going to change? Okay, I want you to come up with 10 things. If you can post some of them in the group, that's wonderful. But you just need to say things like this. And yes, if you write it down, I assure you, you will stick to it longer. I promise you, it's just a natural thing. Okay, so if we write, I will change my outlook on my career choices and start looking for a new job. Okay, how will you know so you succeeded at that? Because you found a new job. Okay, it's real easy when you use the word change instead of goals. I will change the way I interact with my sibling to eliminate all fighting. I will change how I self-talk about my body to lift it up daily instead of continuing to put myself down. I will change my nighttime snacking routine into something constructive. Okay, that's something constructive. I just gave the example of writing a book. So many people tell me that they're going to write a book. I never set out to write books. I wrote 3 of them and I have a 4th on the way. So it's a nice outlet in the evening. Instead of, I may have the TV on, may or may not have the TV on, but I need something to do because my mind is still going 100 miles an hour. I want to eat, but to eliminate that, to change the nighttime snacking, I have to fill it with something more constructive. I can't just fill it with nothing. I can't just say, I'm going to stop eating, because that might last 1, maybe 2 nights, but let somebody tick me off and it's all gone. So I can't just eliminate it. And that's what so many diet programs do, or people that are dealing with those in the diet world, is they just want to eliminate it. You've got to replace it with something. I don't naturally wind down. And so since I don't naturally do that, I kind of have to force it. And I can eat, or I can find some mindless things to do to get me to calm down enough to go to sleep. I know this about me. This just comes with self-honesty. Okay, so I want to encourage you to come up with 10 things between now and Friday of things you're going to change. Some you may be able to change in the month of January. Some may take you several months. Some may take you the whole year. But I want you to come up with 10 things, at least 10 things you want to change. Write them out. It's so crucial to connect mentally, physically, and emotionally. And writing does that. If 10 seems overwhelming, you're either being lazy, you're pushing back against me, that happens too, or you just don't want to think that far deep into it. I want to encourage you to change that. You need to spend that time to think deeper into it, okay? If you can't, you refuse to at this moment, then at least come up with 3. 10 will get you there. 3 is something that you'll say, I fulfilled what she said, but I may or may not do it. It does not work in your best interest. 10 will work in your best interest. You'll really get to the heart of some things that you'll be able to change and fix all those triggers, those unnecessary triggers that you can actually fix relatively easy by changing them back here before food gets involved. So again, I want to wish you a happy new year. It's going to be a great new year. I refuse to go through all this madness again. I just refuse. I am not going to receive that. So I want to encourage you to really step out of yourself. Let's look at things a little bit differently, and let's come up with 10 changes, because the world is going to exist in its positive or negativity or both. It's going to go on around us anyway, but you can function here in your world and make it so much better. So I want to encourage you to do that. Really take the time, and I will see you on the other side. I will see you in 2021. Have a fabulous week.